I'm inside the wonderful church, Sacred Trinity Church, I should say, in Salford, a wonderful building. And I'm here to talk to the Reverend Andy Salmon, who's going to talk about the crowdfunding appeal, which he so urgently needs. We're going to talk about the history of the church and the services it provides for the local community. Could you tell us about these, Andy?
Yeah, so the crowdfunder, first of all, I need to say we've got big ambitions for this church. So this church has served the community of Salford since 1635, and we want to continue for a long time to come. But the building does need some care and attention, some modifying. We need to make it more flexible, more accessible, more sustainable environmentally. We want to do things like put a proper kitchen in. We want to bring the upstairs into use, because at the moment we can't really use the upstairs, and that would allow us to do more activities. That's a big scheme, and the big scheme will cost over £1 million, and that'll be a challenge to us to raise that money. But first of all, before we can even start raising that money, we need to do proper surveys done of the church, all the electrical, the heating, and all that sort of thing. We need to do all the drawings and costings to work out how we can do the work that we need to do to the church. So in order to do all the preliminary stuff, we need to raise £20,000. That will pay for all the works that we need, that will then allow us to apply for the really big money.
Big grants, yeah. How's it going, the crowdfunding?
It's going all right. Yeah. We're less than 2 weeks in, and we're getting plenty of money in, but we do need plenty more. So the city council are going to match fund pound for pound, but we need to get the full amount in order to get the city council's money.
So you want 20 grand?
Well, we do want 20 grand.
But you're not going to say no if you get more?
Yeah, no, we won't. If we get any more, it will go towards the bigger long-term project.
So how can people donate? Have you got a site or anything?
Yeah. Go to Crowdfunder and look for Sacred Trinity, or the link is on all our social media and so on. So find us at Sacred Trinity or Sacred Salford on things like Instagram and Facebook.
Social medias.
Yeah.
People initially, they're not going to be worried, or are they going to be worried about the church? It's not going to be ripped apart, is it? Can you put the mind at rest?
So the church, let's be honest, the church is a constantly evolving building. Yeah. So it was built in 1635, but only the tower remains from 1635. The rest was rebuilt in 1752. It was then threatened with demolition when they built the railway. Yeah. It was threatened with demolition when they widened the railway. It was threatened with demolition when one of the vicars wanted to demolish it and build something new. So there's been lots of times when it's been threatened or rebuilt or altered. So the last time it had major alterations was 1980, when it was narrowed as it is now. Yeah. And extra rooms were put in and the glazing put in upstairs. What we want to do is perhaps go back a little bit to how it was before 1980. So we're probably looking at widening it again, making it a little bit wider, putting in a proper kitchen, like I said, creating more spaces that we can use by bringing the upstairs into use. Give you an example. The other week we had a wedding in church, and the AA meet on a Saturday, and so they coincided with the wedding, and they met upstairs. And so they were meeting upstairs whilst we had a wedding downstairs. Now, that was okay, but they were meeting in a bit of a scruffy space that's hard to get to. They coped. Yeah. But what we want to do is to be able to do things like that all the time. Have a meeting going on while something else is happening in the building.
It has to be said, the church, it has such a varied calendar of events. Is there such a thing as a typical week?
Well, they're a fairly typical week. So we, for example, on a Monday, we have community choir who meet here, and it's not a church choir, it's a community choir people who enjoy singing. Tremendous little group who are really getting really quite good at singing, and do a lot of support of one another. That's an important part of what it's about. It's kind of it's good for your mental health, singing. So we have community choir Tuesdays. We have place of welcome. So we have lots of people coming in for a free drink and toast. We have people coming in for talk English walks. People improving their English, a lot from the Hong Kong community. We have bell ringing on a Tuesday evening, which is a great English tradition. We have, sometimes on a Wednesday, we have a Hong Kongers group, Salford Hong Kongers, meet here quite often. There'll often be 80 or so people gathering for mutual support and just socialising with one another. We have, on a Wednesday evening, Manchester School of Samba meet in here to practice. Many people will have seen them at carnivals and the like. We have Manchester Migrant Solidarity Group meets here. They meet for again for mutual support. We have the AA, as I've mentioned, meet on a Saturday. Obviously, on a Sunday, we do church, morning and evening. We also quite often have gigs. So this Friday, we have some African jazz. We've got Sounds of Manchester Festival on a Friday in August. We have Acoustic Amnesty, which is raising money for Amnesty International at the beginning of September.
Right. So you're not just a church, are you?
No.
Far from it,
Yeah. We like to think that we're a beating heart of this community.
That's a wonderful expression, the beating heart of this community. If you can help Andy in any way, and I urge you to, please, because this is a wonderful church and he's a wonderful man, I've got to say that. Go to the links provided, donate money, tenner, fiver, 20s, anything you can. Help this man out, help the church, and you're helping Salford, and you're helping the Salford community at large as well. So dig deep and help him out. Okay, Andy?
Thank you.
Wonderful man.